What is up? Welcome to yet another episode of Big Kid with Will Bryant. I'm your host. I'm Will Bryant. And guess what, guys? A rarity. I'm not feeling down. I know. I'm not feeling like crap. I'm actually feeling kind of all right. And I'm looking around at the many ways that my day can go wrong, because that's just the type of guy I am, you know? I see something going right, and instead of enjoying it, I wonder how can it go wrong. And so far, day's going all right. I don't feel like crap. I bought a new trimmer. I remember last week I said I was looking like a caveman because my trimmer didn't work. Well, I got a new trimmer, was able to do a little trimming of the beard. I don't look so stupid anymore. I still look a little stupid, but a less amount of stupid. Basically in life, my goal is to minimize the stupidity. Not around me, but in me. You know, the less stupid I can be, the less stupid things I can say, the less stupid things I can do, we're going to count those as wins. See, it's when I try to be smart that truly I am at my stupidest. So I avoid all that. No. Just don't do stupid shit. There's a couple of things I always do before I start recording. Usually I smoke a joint, or like at least part of a joint. Then that means I put in some my drops so I don't look like a drug addict while I do this podcast. Although I literally have done an episode called "All the Drugs I've Done" and hangovers and K-holes. So I think my image is pretty much shot already. 36 episodes in. The other thing I do is I'm one of those people that are like addicted to chapsticks or lip balms. You ever heard of this shit? Cause I never heard of it until I became that person, and I am 100% the type of person that is addicted to lip balms. I have to have one like every day. My laptop is like, it sounds like it's a motor for a tiny boat right now. Like it's working really hard. Hey buddy, calm down. So I always put on some chapstick before every show. Cause you know, my lips gotta be proper if I'm gonna talk for an hour and a half, you know. But I saw this chapstick, quote unquote chapstick. Let's start off with that Val gave me yesterday. Because as I do pretty much once a day, I lost my chapstick yesterday for a couple of minutes there. And panicked. And then she was like, well, I have this Star Wars chapstick if you want it. The fuck? Why does she have a Star Wars chapstick? I don't know. She does get a lot of stuff for free from like promotional shit, because she does a lot of video promotional content on Instagram and on TikTok and on stuff I've never even heard of. And I wouldn't be surprised if she just got it for free from one of those things and just never used it. And she's like, yeah, it's Star Wars chapstick. Now, for those watching, for those with the luxury of seeing my brand new trimmed beard, let's see if we can get it. There we go. Can we focus on that Star Wars thing? There we go. It looks... It does not open up like chapstick. It opens up like fucking lipstick. Worse, I have to twist it to get the lipstick to emerge like a penis coming through an uncircumcised skin. And then this is what I have to rub on my lips. This Star Wars lipstick. Well, let's try it out right now live on Big Kid Little Bro. All right. It's like thinner than I'm used to. I'm used to some more girth. It smells like, oh my God, it smells like expired glue. Oh. Mixed with like Vaseline, but like medical grade. It does have R2D2 on it. And C3PO, and I don't know what those little guys with the cloaks are. But I'm literally smelling my own lips right now. I don't like that lipstick at all. I smell like a fourth grade art project. Do they do art projects in fourth grade? I should have probably went with like preschool. I might as well just put glue stick on my lips. Then Val would have loved that because I would have been quiet for a day, finally. All right. Man, last night, I have a, you know how we all have, all right, fuck this. I'm putting my regular cherry chapstick on over the glue stick. I have to. All right. Yeah. You smell that? It smells like cherry. Well, now it smells like cherry and glue stick, but at least I got some cherry in my life right now. Let me get some Stella to wash down this glue. All right. No offense, Star Wars. So you know how we all have our chats. The chat that I'm most active in is with the one that I have with a bunch of my guy friends where we're in a fantasy football league together. We do have one girl in the fantasy football league, but she doesn't really participate in the chat. So because she's way smarter than all of us, so good on her. The rest of us, we talk in that chat year round. It's definitely more active around football season because we're all pretty stupid degenerates. Not just with fantasy football, but with trash talking and gambling too. So, and last night there was a game, and so whenever there's a game, the chat's usually at its peak. And amidst the trash talk, there was a video that came up that I kind of forgot about because I only saw it once in my life, and I must explain. So with these friends, I hosted a fantasy football draft party. And don't worry, this isn't a fantasy football story. It's an embarrassing friend story. We always drink a lot at these events, and often do more than just drink. Some of us, not all of us. I know I personally, I'll throw myself under the bus. I definitely did some chocolate shrooms that night too. Did a bunch of shots. The party favors were flowing, as they usually do. So that's why I kind of forgot about this. But at some point at the draft party, somebody pulled up a random, or what we thought was like this random video. I think they had posted in the chat like weeks ago or something. And it kind of went under the radar. No one noticed. And they brought it up at the party. And people were like, wait, I thought that was like a joke or something. And here's what the video was. The video was some guy took out his phone because he noticed like a fancy sports car driving down the streets of New York City. This this is the thing though. This is one of those sports cars that only has 2 seats. All right, cool. Except there were 3 dudes in the car. 3 dudes, 2-seat sports car. See what I'm saying here? This guy saw this on a New York City street and took out his phone. And he went right up, because it was a topless car too, on top of that. And he went right up to this car and he was like, oh shit, violation, yo, violation. And he films, he gets right in these dudes' grill. And the one dude driving, he's just kind of laughing because it's, whatever. But the thing is, sitting shotgun, there's one dude that's kind of laughing, trying to hide his face. And then there's another dude on his lap trying to talk shit back to the guy recording the phone. He even puts up his bucket hat because he just came from a fishing trip. He puts that up to try to hide or block the camera because he's the one riding on his boy's lap. And here's the thing. Riding on a dude's lap, hey, if you go that way, cool. But if you don't, then, there's obviously... Put it this way. That guy wasn't trying to hide the camera with his bucket hat for no reason. Now, why did this video come up at our draft party with just my friends? Well, here's why. Because the person that brought up that video pointed out that the gentleman sitting in shotgun that's trying to hide his face as another grown man is sitting on his lap, he looked a lot like our friend that was with us on that very night. At which point we all gathered around the phone and it became clear as day. No doubt about it. It was indeed our friend riding shotgun in a sports car with a man on his lap. And he was caught by a random New Yorker just posting them on social media. And somehow, one of our friends came across this clip and brought it up on at our fantasy football draft party. Last night in the chat, now remember, this was weeks ago at the draft party. Last night in the chat, this friend of ours was trash talking our other friend. My friend, the guy was trash talking, who, by the way, this friend will remain nameless by request of him. This is what happened. My other friend, James, who is usually my supplier of tequilas, and I think right now is as good a time as any, because I know James is listening to this at home, probably laughing his ass off. So, James, in honor of you giving me something to talk about, let's give him something to talk about. Cheers to you, my friend. Thank you, James. Still have that El Tesoro, my favorite tequila. That and Fortaleza. Anyways, so our friend, who shall remain nameless, let's just give him a fake name. Let's just call him, Chapo or something. So our friend Chapo, he's talking shit to my other friend James in the chat, and we're all just laughing seeing it happen. And James's way of defending himself from this trash talk is to go back and find this video. James's way of defending himself is to go and find this video and just post it in our chat over and over and over again. And dude, how do you come back from that? Trust me, Chapo tried, but Chapo failed. Because there's no coming back from that, bro. You're going to talk shit about how your team did in fantasy football. Actually, he was talking shit about the fact that James benched someone that was going off. And James just came back with the ether. James does that too. James will, like, somebody will say, like, hey, your team sucks. And then he'll be like, yeah, well, you grow up without a father, so whatever. Very disproportionate comebacks, but always goes for the jugular, you know? So he went for it with Chapo. He fucking posted the video over, and I'm telling you, like 8 times, just over and over in the chat. And all of us were just dying watching this unfold, watching Chapo get ethered. And I chime in the chat that because I was so inebriated on draft night that I kind of forgot about that video. Like, I remember this clearly happening at the party or at the draft party, but it kind of was this memory that I enjoyed on that evening and just never really thought about again until James flooded the chat with it. And I was like, oh, so here's the thing. I do a fantasy football podcast just for, not a fantasy football, like general one, like literally one about my league, about my 11 friends, me and my 11 friends. I do one about our league every week. And, so basically just the 12 of us listen to it, or the 11 of them. And it's I said, wow, this is great content for next week's episode, but I think I kind of want to talk about this on Big Kid. And most of them got a kick out of that. Most of them, except for Chapo. Chapito got on a side DM. He DM'd me directly, and he was like, please, listen, you can talk about it, but do not use my name. Do not name my friends, which, by the way, I couldn't if I tried. I don't know. It's Bucket Hat Head, and the driver's fine. It's probably his car. He was fine. No one was sitting on his lap. Now, if Chapo was shotgun, Bucket Hat was on his lap, and Bucket Hat was then bent over and his face was in the driver's lap, then okay, all three would be in a little bit of a situation there. Unless that's the driver's thing. Then he's just a dope ass motherfucker getting head while driving a sports car down the street in New York City. You know who's not looking cool there though? It's Chapo. Cause even if Buckethead gets down like that, then he's riding shotgun, giving head in a sports car riding down the street in New York City. But you know who's not cool there? Chapo. Because Chapo's just this dude's motherfucking seat while 2 other people are getting off. The funny thing is that didn't even happen. I'm just going off on a tangent. Sidebar with Will Bryant. I know exactly. We didn't really want an explanation because we all know exactly what happened. Chapo isn't exactly free-flowing with his money, if you know what I mean. I love him because he always hits me up whenever like GameStop or Walmart or Target is having a really good deal on action figures, or dolls, as my girl calls it. And I have jumped on some of those deals. He is the deal master, son. In fact, one time I was walking down Union Square, and one of his good friends, like I ran into one of his good friends. He's an acquaintance of mine, and Basically, the only thing we have in common is that we went to the same high school, but weren't in the same year, so we never talked. Basically, the only thing we have in common is that and Chapo. So I was like, all right, for 2 blocks, I'm just going to talk about Chapo. And we both, the only thing that we could say about him is that he's the motherfucker that knows about all the deals. Because I think his friend was on his way to like Taco Bell to like cash in on one of these deals. He knows like when, like, yo, Taco Bell's giving out free, Gordito Crunches if you buy 1 Baja Blast. He's on top of all those, 1 cent burger deals at McDonald's. Met fan, he'll be like, they're giving this out for free today. Let's go. Chapo, the deal master. So, what happened? He was definitely with his buddies hanging out somewhere, and they had to get from point A to point B, but they didn't, they had 2 seats and 3 people, and none of them probably wanted to take the subway, and none of them, I know Chapo definitely didn't want to pay for no Uber. Chapo would definitely be down for riding shotgun and having another grown man on his lap if it meant saving a couple of bucks. And that's exactly what I think happened. And you know what they say. When the lie becomes the truth, print the lie. All right? Legend of Liberty Vance. I'm dropping fucking knowledge on you guys. That's an old school Western, motherfuckers. Look that shit up. I'm smart. I'm not stupid. I try. So even if that's not the truth, it has to be the truth because it's my truth and that's what I'm saying. And here's the thing, since I'm not using any names and I'm not showing you any faces, I can say whatever the fuck I want to say. So they might as well. Bucket Hat was given the driver head. Fuck it. That's my version too. I know what y'all thinking too. All right, now's the time. Now we see the video, right? No. Like I said, he's my friend, so I'm not gonna name him. I'm gonna show that video too. He claimed. I was like, I can't even show the video. He's like, nah, because of the algorithm and shit. What? The algorithm? Imagine, I've had like one video. Well, I guess I've had a couple of videos go viral, but I had one video go very viral. That cat video that is at like 103 million views. The other, I have another video that's like half a million views, I think, and another at like 200,000. So I guess that's a smaller version of viral, but it was really just a trickle down effect because it was like videos I posted right after that 102 million view video. Imagine I like share his video or do a stitch of it now that I know what it is, and that's my next viral video. It's funny because it's not even something he would get fired over. His job would probably, promote him for being progressive. Oh, man. The algorithm. I don't even know what that means. For some reason, that story about my friend in my fantasy football league got me thinking of just another random ass story. And I've used this story to like explain or understand life situations, cause when you try something for the first time and you struggle at it and it's like it's like really demoralizing, right? I'm personally, when I went back to college to study music production, the difficulty it took me to grasp pretty much everything was really at first demoralizing. Then it was kind of motivational, but like that's not what this episode's about. This ain't a motivational podcast. Fuck that. I see why. There was a professor that told me that the amount of kids, he's talking to me, I was 30 years old, but he's like, the amount of kids that take the 101 class in music production and continue in the course, like, drops off exponentially more than in a lot of other, I guess, majors or courses or course directions or whatever. And I think it's because a lot of people come into music production thinking like, oh, in my head I can make a lot of beats like ding, 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 ding. Then suddenly they sit down in front of software or are presented with music theory or just ideas of reading music at all, and it becomes daunting. It becomes a little intimidating, and people quit. Like that. I've seen people quit mid-class, walk out, just frustrated because they can't get the computer to do what they wanted to do. And I get it. I got it. I understood. You want to know why I understood? Because of this story that I was alluding to just now. I once went on a snowboarding trip. In fact, the first time I ever went snowboarding, it was a week-long trip to the Poconos. And I went with a bunch of my friends. It was a huge snowboarding trip that like very experienced snowboarding friends of ours did on a regular basis. So I got to say, like, across maybe 2 or 3 cabins, we had maybe 30 people. And in our cabin alone, or in our whatever we call it, there's at least, I don't know, 11 to 15 people. I don't know. Maybe I'm remembering wrong. This thing is so long ago that like there's pictures of this weekend that exist on Facebook where I'm like 200 something pounds walking around with a camcorder to record the event, the weekend, the week, 7 days, I think it was 5 days. Dude, I had a camcorder. There's pictures of me with a fucking camcorder recording a game of Kings. Fucking 60 pounds heavier than you see me now. This is the first time, this snowboarding trip to the Poconos, this was the first time that me and a bunch of my friends ever went snowboarding. And I thought it was the best way to learn because I think snowboarding is something that's very, very difficult to learn or even pick up. And getting down a hill once, it could be one of the toughest things that anyone ever does if they've never tried something fucking physically difficult. And the good thing about going for like a week and going with people, with friends that are really good at it, is that they'll have the patience to just teach you some shit. But the truth is, like, you're not even really able to stay on your feet on a snowboard for more than a couple of seconds until like maybe hours in till your first time ever trying it. So if you only go snowboarding for one day and you're trying to learn how to snowboard in that one day, you're going to spend the first 1, 2, 3 hours on your ass falling and figuring out how to get up and not able to do it and just being dejected. In fact, I saw this recently with another friend of mine also in the league that came snowboarding with us for his first time. And he struggled. He made it down the mountain like once, and that was it. So I felt lucky that I learned on a week, because that first day, by the end of the day, we were getting down the hill, and the next day we were going down hills no problem, and by the end of the week we were going down blues, and I accidentally went down a black diamond, And I made it down. I made it down the whole way except for the very end when I finally had to fall on my ass and slide all the way down. But it was hard, but I learned. Why am I talking about all this? Because I told you, we went for a week. And me and my friends didn't really learn how to stay on our feet until midway / towards the end of the first day of us snowboarding. It was a group of us that went together on basically the bunny hill. All of us got to the top of that little fucking pathetic looking bunny hill. There's like children to our left and our right doing the same shit that we're doing. Already better than us. Because when you strap on a snowboard and you can't really move your feet, that shit is weird. We all go down this bunny hill at the same time and we all fall over and over and over again. It was me and probably 4 or 5 other friends that had never done it ever, being taught by like 2 people that have snowboarded down Lake Placid or mountains in Lake Placid. So we all like fall on this stupid little bunny hill as children are frolicking around us. And suddenly, as all of us are on our ass in the snow, like coming to the realization of like, oh shit, this is tough. We see one of our friends. I'm not sure I should call him by name because I don't know if he likes this story. So let's see, what should I call him? Let's call him. I'm struggling here. Let's call him Lowell. Like Lowell or some shit. Lowell. So Lowell, good old Lowell. Lowell unstraps his. When we all fall the first time down this bunny hill, get up and try again. Then we all fall a second time. Lowell unstraps his snowboard boots angrily. He picks up his snowboard and tucks it under his arm, and he like just angrily just starts stomping down this bunny hill and walks all the way down. And here's the thing, the rest of us are still on our asses on the bunny hill. None of us want to take off our boots, our snowboard boots, or unstrap because, first of all, for a newbie, it's kind of hard to get in there, to get strapped in. And second, we didn't want to quit. We wanted to keep going down the hill. We weren't sure if he was like just going to try again from the top or whatever. He stomps down the bunny hill angrily and then just walks off, and we never see him for the rest of the day on the mountain. We just looked around like, what the fuck was that? And then we just try again for hours. And no sign of Lowell. We probably stayed till it got dark. Because by the time we were able to stay on our feet, we were loving it. We were having a great time. We started racing each other, dude. That like people that never snowboarded were racing each other down mountains. It was awesome. It was fun. We get back to our cabin, and there's Lowell chilling, nice and warm in his sweats, drinking a beer already, having fun with everyone else. And we're all exhausted from being on the mountain, and we kind of like fucking forgot. Like, oh yeah, bro, what happened? And, excuse me. Whoops. I want to do another shot before I get to the end of the story, because What Cole told me, whoops. I'll fix that. Because what Lowell told me will, you know what? It's funny. I don't think he'll fucking be embarrassed by his story. Like, he's proud of this. He's like, yeah, fuck that. I stand by this. Anyways, what he told me, what this motherfucker told me, when we were like, hey, where the fuck did you go? The day just started. We tried to go down the bunny hill once, and you took your snowboard off and you stomped down the hill and you left and you never came back. And we're now seeing you hours later. What happened? Thank you, James. Fucking Lowell looks right at us with no shame and gives us a 1-sentence answer. He fucking looks at all of us and he says, I don't like doing things I'm not good at. And that was it. That was it. And you know what's crazy? Yes, most of us laughed. But you know what? Most of us also, in fact, I think all of us actually kind of understood what he was talking about. Now, look, is there something to be said about conquering a task that you were not able to conquer previously? Sure, whatever. But look inside of yourself. How often in life do we not do something? How often in life do we not continue trying something because of this exact same feeling? Nobody likes doing something they're not good at. Maybe I should walk that back a little bit. Because I remember I used to watch this show called Mythbusters. I'm sure a lot of you guys know about it. And they used to say, this guy, not Jamie Hyneman, the other guy, Adam Savage. He used to say, as a retort to the common saying of failure is not an option, he used to say failure is always an option. Because in science, an experiment not getting the outcome you desired is not so much as a failed experiment as it is just more data for you to learn from and to analyze so that you do get the outcome you desire eventually. Going back to me struggling when I went back to college, I remember every time, man, there would be moments where I fucked up something so bad, whether it be via software or just understanding something or just with the actual like physical hardware or analog shit of being in a studio, I would realize, wow, I just wasted my entire, 2-hour study period or whatever because I fucked this up the entire time. Like, I remember one time I was in a studio and I literally couldn't get the sound on for an hour and a half because of something so fucking simple and stupid. And I told myself that I wasted an hour and a half. And my professor was like, or you just spent an hour and a half learning a lesson that you'll probably never fucking forget. Because will you ever forget to turn that switch on again? nobody likes doing things they're not good at. But there's something about getting good at something you weren't good at. Man, I remember that snowboarding story because, first of all, it encapsulates my friend in like one story, in my opinion. Because when I tell that story to other people, they're like, wow, that's the most lol story I've ever heard. And I'm like, yeah, pretty much. And then there's always this moment where people are like, yeah, but you know what? I'm the same way. In fact, when I told that story to my girlfriend Val, she fucking found it hilarious, but she's like, I could not agree more. Because she's the same way. She doesn't like doing things she's not good at. Who the hell does? I remember when I did my episode where I described how the time I was given my biggest opportunity to throw a party, to like an after hours party to DJ at, ended up being one of my biggest failures ever. I bookended that episode with a quote from Paul Heyman about how to achieve success you have to get rid of the fear of failure and you have to accept failure. And he said sometimes half the fun is failing. Because then you wake up the next day, licking your wounds, looking at the world, saying you don't want to get your ass kicked that same way again, so you come back a little bit more dangerous. And that's the attitude you should have, right? That's why I love that quote so much, because it's an attitude that I wish I had. Like, damn, I don't like doing things I'm not good at either, man. Who the fuck does? Truth is, my friend Lowell has done plenty of things that he wasn't good at and became good at them. It just so happens that snowboarding is not the one that he became good at. He's really good at a lot of other shit, though. And I'm sure he didn't start off good at it. So there's something inside of him that does like the struggle. Now, here's the real question, though, as I open up another bottle. You know what? It's this kind of gay. It's this kind of day. Ready? Bottle cap on the floor. Hell yeah. Here's the real question, though. Would my friend Lowell ever sit shotgun in a sports car with another man on his lap? By the way, here's the thing, man. Chapo had balls, man. Because to do that in a car with no top. I'm curious. I should go back and watch the video. Is it a car that could have had the top up? Because to ride with the top down through New York City with a man on your lap, Jesus, man, holy motherfucking. Maybe Chapo's the fucking baddest dude of them all. That is caution to the wind like a motherfucker. Would Lowell ever do that? I don't know. Would he ever do that? Would he? You know what? I'm not gonna lie, because me and Lowell are very close. We have a pretty tight relationship. I bet the only person he would be willing to do that with is me. Now here's the question: who would be the bottom, and who would be the top? See, I'm the type of guy I swear to God, I swear to whatever higher power you believe in, if I was caught in that sports car, first of all, I'm willing to bet that I'd probably be the dude on top because I wear kids extra large and I'm so petite. I'm just willing to bet that I'd be the dude on top. And here's the thing. I could maybe put my hair down and fool people for a while. Be like, "Oh, yo, that dude riding shotgun got a chick on his lap. That's badass." They don't, hopefully they don't notice my trimmed beard. But here's the thing: if I get caught on camera, first of all, I wouldn't be wearing a bucket hat because I didn't just go fishing. So I wouldn't have no hat to cover the camera with, but I wouldn't cover no hat. I wouldn't cover no camera. I'm the type of dude that'd be like, hell yeah, look at this. Riding shotgun on a motherfucker's lap. Let's go. My friend would probably be hiding. Yeah, probably. But me, I don't give a fuck about that shit. Say what you want to say. Say what you need to say. Say what you need to say. Oh man, have I really talked about 45 minutes about two dumb stories about my friends in the fantasy football league? Oh man, I was I was also thinking about this other random ass freaking moment that I had one time. I was damn, it's hard to go back and think about when weed was like illegal and something you could go to jail for a long time too, man. How paranoid I was of smoking weed. So when I was younger and a bona fide pothead, if you remember from all the drugs I've done, me and my pothead friends would have like these handful of locations that we would go to smoke at. My favorite one, well, there was two favorites that I had, and I'm sure that we had. In Queens, there was, unfortunately, this legendary street art graffiti fucking palace. There was, let me see if I can look up some quick information on it, but there was this place called 5 Points in Queens. And like from what I remember, it was just this old building that was bought by somebody that was owned. It was owned by somebody that was cool with graffiti and street art. And so he allowed people, like not just randomly, you had to like, be allotted in a spot or whatever, but he allowed the entire area to just be graffitied up. Street art, like they were I'm telling you, the entire building walls had some of the most intricate works you would ever see anywhere. Walking around 5 Points was like walking around an art museum, and the fact that they tore that shit down it's a travesty. Like honestly, if they would have just kept it up a couple of years more, right now, I'm sure that there's some fucking dumbasses that would have found a way of charging people to walk through that area. We used to just go up there at night and smoke there. Chilling in the parking lot, walking around looking at the different things. Yeah, it was in Long Island City. Jerry Wolkoff, a developer, bought the property in the early 1970s. He originally planned to develop the building, but instead leased the space to companies. Wolkoff started leasing the space as artist studios in the 1990s. Building's exteriors was covered with street art, and the building became renowned worldwide for the art on its wall. Originally known as the Fun Factory, the building was renamed Five Points in 2002 after Wolkoff hired the graffiti artist Jonathan Cohen to curate the exterior murals. The new name represents the confluence of the 5 boroughs of New York City. The murals were exhibited mainly on the exterior walls of the building, while the interior was occupied by about 200 artists' studios. In 2013, Wolkoff made the controversial decision to demolish 5 Points and replace it with a residential complex, resulting in protests. Without giving any warning, Wolkoff had the murals whitewashed overnight, which led the artist to file a lawsuit against Wolkoff. The 5 Points building was demolished completely in 2014. Construction on the new building complex started in 2015 with expected completion in early 2020. In February 2018, Wolkoff was ordered by a judge to pay the maximum amount of statutory damages, $150,000 each, for 45 works, for a total of $6.7 million damages to 21 different artists. It's some of the best street art I've ever seen in my life. And I would just smoke with my friends while just chilling around this. A couple of minutes away, a couple of minutes in a car, a little bit longer by walk, there's another awesome area of Long Island City. Now here's the thing, Long Island City, not in Long Island, it's in Queens. Long Island City is the last city in Queens before you go over the river and into Manhattan. For that reason, Long Island City has some of the best views, I would argue, in the entire world, because Long Island City has the view of the New York City skyline. We used to go to the Long Island City piers. And these are these piers that are like jet out into the water. And you look out across the water, and on the other side are all the buildings and skyscrapers of New York City. And we'd be there late at night, 11, 12, 1, and the piers were technically a New York City park. So you weren't allowed to be on the pier after, I think, 10, maybe 9. They would put up these little fucking fences or those tire or bike, parking looking fences. So all you really had to do is just step over them or walk over them. But they would cut off the pier with that. And we would just ignore that, jump over it, and walk out onto the pier and smoke our blunts. Smoke blunts on the Long Island City piers, looking over the river at the New York City skyline. And the New York City skyline does something really fucking cool, where it, as some sort of power or energy saving method, I don't know if it still does this, but at some point, I think it was at midnight, maybe 12:30. But at some point in the night, every building in New York City would turn off its lights. So we would be smoking on the piers, being young, dumbass kids just getting really high, watching every building in New York City turn off all of their lights at once. And usually, it didn't always happen at once, but it happened in sections, like bang, the middle, the left, the right. And then the entire skyline that was just lit up goes dark. And we're just smoking, watching this. I always remember, in fact, saying out loud, guys, we're just 4 dumbass kids smoking blunts right now, watching this. But, there aren't many places in the world that get to watch the New York City skyline at night while smoking across the river. Like it's a great view. Like, look, hey, I know that there's beautiful views like mountains and fields, but there's also beautiful views like our New York City skyline. So I always love smoking there. In fact, that's probably my favorite place I've ever smoked. Like, it was on the piers. I remember we used to have a friend that worked as a park ranger at the Long Island City piers. And he would drive around in a golf cart kicking people off the piers because it was 10 o'clock. And one time, he took like us on his golf cart while he kicked people out and then let us walk right in so that we can get high. Obviously not going to drop his name, but that was fucking awesome too. Kicking other people out so that we can do our weed. I'm bringing all this up because there was one crazy night. Kind of crazy, I guess. Where me and my friends went smoking with this dude that we literally do not really chill with ever. In fact, I think on this night we were just buying weed from him. Excuse me as I sneak. Woo. Anyways, I think we were just buying weed from him. He went to my high school. I've never chilled with him. I didn't even know he was like a dealer. My other friend was like, "Yeah, you know this dude?" I'm like, "Oh yeah, I had French class with him." Like, yeah, he's a dealer. I was like, "Okay, cool. Let's go cop some weed. Cheers." Thank you, James. So we cop weed from him, and I'm pretty sure he was just like, "Hey, what do y'all do? Yo, they're trying to get high? Can I come?" And we're like, "Yeah, come through." He's not one of those dealers that was like weird and we didn't want to chill with him. We actually like, when I heard we were buying weed from him, I was like, I fucking love that dude. Yeah, hell yeah. Let's go. I haven't seen him in like a year. So when he like wanted to come chill with us, it wasn't like, oh yeah, I guess you could come through. We were all like, yeah, come, yo, this is going to be mad fun. Let's go. So we go to the piers. And he didn't really like ever smoke at the piers, and he was like, "Oh wow, you guys come here like to smoke like often, like all the time." Like, yeah, this is like our spot. Like, we're good here. It's fine. It's awesome. It's a chill area. And here's the thing: when you go to Long Island City today, it is the most gentrified, developed city or town or whatever you want to call it in Queens. Because, like I said, you got to remember, it's the last place in Queens until you got to go over that water and get into Manhattan. Meaning, if you work in Manhattan but don't want to live in Manhattan, what's a great place to live in? Where's a great place to live in? Long Island City, where you can literally take the train one stop and be in Midtown. And then come back home to Queens, away from all that city shit, and your view is the New York City skyline across the water. Long Island City has some of the highest rents in New York. Not Queens, New York. Because of your view and your proximity to the city. The toxicity. So, what's cool about when we used to go there to smoke was that it was on the come up. All the buildings that you see there now were in construction while we were smoking there as kids. Because you gotta remember, I'm fucking 35. I was smoking there when I was like 20. 21, maybe. I think I was drinking age. I don't even know. Definitely like between 19 to 21, I guess. I don't know. Maybe even younger. Nah, not younger, but maybe even older. So this was a good 12 to 14 years ago. Maybe 15. So some of these buildings, like the Avalon, was being built. Now there's people paying fucking bank to live there. I remember walking just through abandoned places that were going to be rebuilt into buildings where homeless people would live on the regular. So we went out to smoke on the piers with our friend, our dealer. I remember smoking, and I was smoking with my back towards Queens, and I was looking at the New York City skyline. And I remember my dealer friend, let's call him Dro. Dro had his back to the water and his back to the New York City skyline, and he was facing me. And we were passing the blunt around, and he had this moment where he could not. I had never seen a human being more excited but unable to speak than Dro at this moment. This was him. Yo, look! All he could do was just point behind me. And none of us knew what the fuck he was trying to say. I turn around, and in the distance, I see a fucking parachute and a dude just gently floating down. And and then go off in the distance. And I was like, what the fuck was that? And then, before any of us could say anything, we all witnessed a second person jump off the roof of a building under construction. This dude jumps off the building, pulls a cord, and then his parachute pops open too. He starts gliding down. We lost our shit. We just saw two people jump off a building and parachute down. We all started running from the piers back to the street to try to get a better view of what the fuck happened. And dude, by the time that we got from the piers to the street, they were gone. All we saw was one parachute still hanging on a street light. Which means that one of them got caught on a street light, fucking cut himself off the chute, and booked it that fast. Because what they were doing was very illegal. In fact, I don't think we stuck around much longer because we thought maybe somebody might call the cops, and the last thing that we need to be is a couple of kids smoking weed near an area with cops. So that building was like still under construction. They literally base jumped off of a building under construction in Long Island City, and we were high as fuck, dude. We were just kids, just high as fuck. Like, did that just happen, dude? It was honestly the coolest thing I've ever seen happen live while smoking weed. I mean, I'm sorry. I'm the kind of dude that smokes weed at everything I do. So I've smoked weed at like every concert I've ever seen. I've smoked weed before and after every sporting event I've ever been to. Unless I was a kid. I don't think I've ever. I've seen some amazing performances while smoking, but like to see people jump off a building randomly in Queens on like a Tuesday night. I don't know why that came up like in my memories this week, dude. I wrote it down though. When I thought about it, I wrote it down. I literally just wrote down base jumpers at LIC. That's what that whole story was about. It was, I don't know. You know what it is? I think I had this week where, if you realize all of these stories are about like friends that I've had, they're memories that I made probably 10 years ago. Not the fucking my friend sitting on a lap thing, but like he's been my friend for 10 years. And so the snowboarding dude, he was my friend for years, and it just brought me back to like two stories about people I've known since fucking high school. Got my head thinking about some other high school memories, and that guy jumping off the piers was with my friends that I had just left high school with. So like, I don't know. It was all kind of jumbled up as one big thing in my head. Also, I had no real fucking idea for what the fuck I was going to talk about today. So I had to find some type of, connection between all this shit. Whatever. Hopefully it connected. Hopefully it was all right. Oh, man. Dude, honestly, I kind of want to buy a 2-seat car just to put my friends in terrible positions. Nah, that sucks. Yeah, that's so... If you're the driver of a 2-seater and you have two dudes in your shotgun seat, that's also not a great look on your... Dude, if you had two chicks in shotgun... You're Christian Bale in Batman Begins. Or The Dark Knight or whatever. Yo, he actually did do that. He pulled up to a restaurant, got out of the driver's seat, the Lamborghini door opened fucking upwards. He walked out, and the passenger seat walked out, and fucking one bitch walked out who was sitting on top of another bitch, and she walked out, and it was the most baller shit ever. You know what wouldn't have been the most baller shit ever? If he did that and fucking Robin walked out and then Alfred walked out from under his ass from shotgun. That would have been the least baller shit ever. So actually, yeah, all three of the drivers, all three of the fucking people in that car come out looking pretty bad. If you had two bitches, though. Or you know what? If he's gay. If the driver's gay, then... Then bravo. Bravo. And that's all I got to say about that. Honestly, guys, I just want to say... Be sure to rate and review this show on Apple Podcasts. Follow me at I'm Will Bryant on all platforms like Instagram, YouTube, X, TikTok, Twitch, Spotify, Threads, all that shit. This has been Big Kid with Will Bryant. I'm your host. I'm Will Bryant. Do not forget to follow me. That's 3 words. I'm Will Bryant. Bryant. Like Kobe. Until next time, guys, thank you for listening. Smoke in safe places. Take cars that have more than 2 seats, because you never know who might be recording. And don't be afraid to do things that you're not good at. Until next time. Peace.